All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Hidden Gems. This is the video series where I talk about those books that could still be tucked away in those back issue boxes at your LCS or wherever you're buying your books, whether they be for cheap. These are not the hot 10 books. These are not the books everybody's hunting for right now. These are kind of forgotten about, undervalued, underpriced type things that you might still be able to dig out at your shops and your stores, wherever you do your comic book pickups. So just some fun stuff that relate to some things that interest me, and hopefully you find them interesting as well. And also, hopefully you guys are enjoying all the content here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends. We can keep growing the channel as we inch closer and closer towards 2K. I believe we are only 5 away, or 4 away, actually, I believe, my last check, and I'm filming this on Sunday right before the Star Wars Tales from the Dark Side show. So we'll see where we're at when this airs tomorrow. So with that all said, thank you again for all the support and everything. And if you want to see what books I have for you this week, as I have an oddball selection for you, as I do every week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so where are we going to start this week? We are going to start this week where we start every week. Basically, we are going to start with my quick artist retrospective. And this week, I have an artist that most of you probably have no idea who I'm talking about. This is somebody I found interesting for a while. My buddy at work had told me about him a while back. I featured some of his books in Dollar Bin Digging a while back. And then he also noted that he has an interesting current gig. And the artist that I'm going to look at this week is Kagan McLeod, if I'm saying his name properly, who is doing the after credits, like little sketches on She-Hulk. You know, those courtroom sketches that kind of rehash the episode, show some high points, some low points, just some fun stuff. This is the artist that has done them. I thought that was kind of interesting. So I felt like, you know what? Let's talk about him this week because he has an odd career. Not a lot of comic work, but he has little stints where he's come to the comic world and kind of backed out again to do other things, just in more like the regular kind of fine art world. Again, you see the art, and like I said, after all the after credit scenes here on She-Hulk, where they do the little courtroom sketches with the little, this, that, and the other. Pretty fun stuff. Including like, this one. I know the Captain America bit was pretty funny at the start of the show, but I know a lot of people have problems with this for one reason or another. I don't know why. I just find this to be an entertaining show, and I'm enjoying it. Granted, I get it. Humor's not for everybody, but I also don't think every show needs to be, building towards Kang's, eventual, appearance, like big appearance as the big bad in the MCU. I think we have room for a lot of different genres and types of movies and shows, and I think that's what Marvel's kind of giving us. And I especially saw it when I did when I saw the Werewolf by Night. So if you want to see more on that, check out my reactions to the D23 announcements here on the channel. But I'm not going to belabor that point. We're going to move on. Again, he's done all these little courtroom scenes, the after credit scenes, really cool stuff. And he's done some other things. If you go check out his website, you can see that he's branched out to do a lot of like different things. Like, I mean, here we got the Nationals for one reason or another. I guess he's a National fan, and including this some music stuff. Here's Ghostface Killer, pretty cool, like little poster style, little advertisement of some sort. And then I really like this. It was like the 21, I think, greatest action heroes in this like long kind of like print style picture. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it because it's probably pretty tough for you to see. So we'll zoom in here at the top where we see got RoboCop and, we got James Bond, Indiana Jones, John McClane. I think that might be Fast and the Furious back there. Well, that's unfortunate. I see Jackie Chan and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you could take a look and see everybody else. As we scroll down, we got a few more. What looks like John Wick and is that Toshiro Mifune? Maybe Sarah Connor, and you got Furiosa from Mad Max there below, as well as Neo. Just kind of some fun stuff. There's a lot of cool characters in there. A lot of leans towards the martial arts world, which I've found Kagan McLeod to actually lean that way with a lot of his art and his art choices. And we're going to start in with the book that I did cover in Dollar Bin Digging a while back, and that is Infinite Kung Fu. This, I believe, he self-published this at first, and then he got it to be distributed to all different shops. So it only ran for about 7 issues, I think, and it got collected. It might got extra pages in the collected edition like a decade later, but really fun series to go and hunt. These are like oddball things for you to go out there and find. Cool art. I mean, it's very stylized in the way the art goes with the kind of like watercolors mixed in there, but very expressive with the faces and the action. Just some really cool stuff. These are the first 3 issues here, and then I could show you the next 3. Issues 4, 5, and 6. These are the covers there, and then there was the final 7th issue, which is getting a little tough to find. It might be a little extra on the wallet if you go out there hunting. Not a ton though, not a ton. These aren't super expensive books, but they are kind of fun. Like I said, I've talked about these in dollar bin digging before. Not that you see them often. They didn't make a lot of these, so they're not going to be easy to find. But if you were to find them, they're probably going to be in those cheap boxes. And here we go. We're talking about all that I've seen sold, I believe, were the trades. Like these are the trade paperbacks that sold for like $5. I couldn't find any individual issues sold recently for any of the 1 through 7, basically. And the prices on the 1 through 7, they range all over the place. You can see they can be as cheap as like $3. Then you got a pair for like 25, and then some individual issues might ask up to 25. But for the most part, these are like $3 to $5. A lot of times when you'll find them online, and you can see like a whole set could go for like 45 to 50 if you find them. Again, there's not a lot of options, but that's what the pricing is if you do find it out there. And this was what was I said, like it's like 2000, I think, thereabouts, kind of when he started his comic book career a little bit. But he also did a little interior story. It was kind of fun in this Star Wars Tales number 13. This Mace Windu kind of focused issue. Now, this book itself got hot for a very awful reason. Everybody started pointing to this book at one time or another as being the first appearance of the Baby Yoda species. Like, what does that even mean? Like, Yoda already existed, so it's not the first appearance of, and this isn't Grogu, so I don't know what this really is supposed to be or why anybody should care. And the first appearance that being billed is just this little panel. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not even a panel. It's a tiny part of a panel on a page. Look at how little that is. That's it. That's it. People were paying a premium or asking a premium because of that. Know why you're buying a book. That's why I try to share as much information as I possibly can, so you know why you're buying something. Don't just because other people tell you to buy it, like, oh, it's the first this or that, it's first cameo, first full. Just know what's inside, and you make the decision for yourself. As with all of this stuff, I'm not telling you to buy any of these books. I'm just sharing stuff that I find interesting, and then sharing the market, so this way you can make that call for yourself, whether you think it's a good deal or not, as far as how much the things are actually selling for, and how much others might be asking for at this moment in time. And that's all this stuff is. It's all moment in time because things could shift and change depending on news and what have you, and the availability of books. It's a sliding scale. That said, that's why this book got hot for a while. But inside this book, there's also a pretty cool Kagan McLeod story here called Survivors, where you see Mace Windu. And again, you see this kind of like Kung Fu vibes kind of going on in here, even in this one. It seems like it's an episode of Kung Fu to me, even as I look at it. But and this book, like I said, it got hot for all the wrong reasons, in my opinion. Right now, it's back down to cheap because I don't think anybody cares about those initial pushes of the first Baby Yoda whatnot nonsense. I mean, it's selling for $5 to $12, and then some of the asking prices, however, still maintain that push for the first appearance of Baby Yoda, first appearance of Baby Yoda species, which again makes no sense. Grogu, which is not Baby Yoda, and we all know this now. It's been like 2 years. We know it's not Baby Yoda. Take that out of your listing. Stop calling it Baby Yoda. 2, Yoda existed. So who cares if it's a baby version or not? It's not an introduction of anything. But anyway, $12, $65, $40. Prices all over the place. It's probably better priced around that $12 range, even with that cool, Tim Bradstreet cover, which is pretty awesome. And then, like I said, there's some fun stories inside. So I love the Star Wars Tales series because they're like anthologies and they got some pretty good stories, intermingled. Not every story is great. Let's be honest. They're not all great, but there's some good stuff in there. And with that, let's keep moving. don't want to keep lingering on too long. So in like 2010 now, we're rolling on. It's like a decade later after he got the trade paperback finishing up that Infinite Kung Fu. Then we get this IDW series, Kill Shakespeare, where he did the, I think mostly did the A covers, but I think it might have bounced between a couple, might even done a couple of the incentives. Because even then, IDW was doing like their little random incentives, their 1 in 10s. So these are a couple of issues of the covers that he had done. And here's a couple more. Just some, cool stuff. Again, not expensive books. It's just $2. $2 for the most part is what these things sell for. So you'll probably find them in dollar bins if you really go looking. You can even find it, even look at asking prices online. Yeah, in issue 1 is asking $8, a whopping $8. But apart from that, you can see the whole 12 issue set asking 0 bids on $15. The starting bid of $15 for 12 issues. So it's basically dollar books. So this is something, if you're interested in him as an artist, you could probably grab these covers for cheap, just digging in your dollar bins and just being patient. Like there's no need to rush. Another series that he did that I know I've grabbed these out of the dollar bins. They kind of caught my eye because it seemed like an oddball image series. I didn't connect the dots of who was doing the art or any of that, but series that he did with Chip Zdarsky, this Kaptara, 5-issue series, did the covers as well as the art, I believe, inside on this run. He did the whole run on Kaptar. It's only 5 issues, so it's not a long thing. So this is 1 through 3, and then you get, I'll show an issue 1 again, but 4 and 5. It's kind of like a little bit of a weird sci-fi kind of a trippy kind of thing. But like I said, you could find them in dollar bins. Keep a lookout at the dollar bins. Look, the whole run sold for $12 plus shipping, like the whole 5-issue set. That's only sale I could find was that one 12-issue set. And then you can see individual issues asking like $2 or $9 for all 5 issues. So like really $2 and less is really what these things are priced at. So once again, very cheap books. Like I said, this is not a well-known artist. Kagan McLeod isn't on the tip of everybody's tongue that they know who we're talking about. I just thought it was cool to look at his art based off of, his current job doing the after credits on the She-Hulk, show. Thought it was kind of cool. And hopefully you guys agreed and think this is kind of interesting. I don't have much left. Only got a couple more things because I think one that you guys might be interested more in because you also might enjoy Cobra Kai coming back to Netflix very soon is that he did the 4-issue run that came out in 2019, also for IDW. So working for IDW again. Did the covers for the main A covers throughout. I did a couple of incentives as well as the interiors on this series as well. So all 4 issues are worth looking into if you can find them. Like here's issue 1, and then here issue 2, 3, and 4. So you can see that martial arts kind of leaning to his art and his art choices, really. And issue 1 on this is actually started to sell for whatever reason, or maybe it has been selling. I just haven't noticed, but this is easily a $20 book, where the other issues only like $2.50, a couple of bucks, basically cover or less on the other 3 issues. But those might get pulled up in the upswing as more interest comes back to Cobra Kai once the show is back on everybody's Netflix queue and everybody starts watching it again and talking about it again. That's when books start moving again. So just keep an eye on it and go looking now before everybody else goes looking, once the show is actually back. That said, asking prices as well, $20 on issue 1. You can see some of the asks on the other issues. There's issue 2, I think, issue 2 is asking $9 and $50 for the whole set. It's not cheap, but maybe you can find it cheap at your shop still, just tucked away on a shelf or in a box somewhere because, how many people were really rushing to buy the Cobra Kai comic set? I know the variants drew a lot of interest. I got the 1 in 10, the Cobra Kai logo variant, and actually got that 9.8. Sold that pretty for a nice return. But apart from that, he did do the variant for issue 1, which is the 1 in 25, which I did not get because there was none at the shops around me. They didn't have it. I don't think many ordered 25 copies to get this. Plus, it's a classic scene. You got the Cobra Kai boys in their skeleton Halloween costumes beating up Daniel LaRusso. Yeah, it's kind of a fun little, I don't know, maybe not a fun moment, but it's a cool cover, I think. It's just an interesting little snapshot in our collective memories of that film, That said, this is pretty expensive. So I'm not saying this is a hidden gem in any way. This is a pretty expensive book already. Because again, it's hard to find. Look, copy selling for about $100, 100 best offer on 120. So this is like a $100 raw book already. So it's not something you're going to find very easily, probably. And even you look online, the 2 copies I found are $120 raw and $400 raw. So yeah, it's a pricey book. So, but just so you know, and you know it exists, and hey, who knows? Maybe you find it at a shop. Maybe you find it for like ratio, and so they have it there for $25 on a wall, and nobody bought it over these last couple of years, and now you can go scoop it up because it was ignored. I don't know. Good luck. Let me know if you do. And with that, let's move on to a couple of variants. We're almost done with my little Kagan McLeod section here. He did 1 in 10 of this Turtles book in way back when. This is issue 15. I mean, they're up to 130 now. So this was years ago. I don't even remember what year this was, but pretty cool. Pretty cool Leonardo cover. And it's still pretty cheap for being a 1 in 10. I was looking at it. I mean, $4 one sold for. So that's basically cover price, and it's a 1 in 10. But even the asking prices, you can find copies for $10. I mean, some go up to 20 to 30, but you can find copies in that like $10 to $15 range, which isn't too bad for a 1 in 10, especially one as old as this. That's not going to be, easily found just in any shop. So if you find one, I don't know. Plus, like I said, it's kind of cool cover. I might go look for this one if I can find it around ratio. Another cool book, cool cover that he did is this Samurai Jack. This number 9. This is just the subscription B cover for Samurai Jack. It's a gorgeous little scene. I just like it. That's why I put it on as the thumbnail picture for this episode as well. So I thought this was really cool. And surprisingly, this book is a little pricey, just for being a B cover for the most part. Granted, somebody got one in a lot of 9 Samurai Jack issues, and it was in there for under $18. But if you look at the asking prices for this one, it's like $35 on its own, and then you might be able to sneak another one. Look, in the lot, you can find it for cheap, so like $11. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, and yeah, if you can get it for cheap, I would recommend getting it because it's just a cool cover, and I don't know, I kind of like it. That said, let's move on to 1 or 2 more. I think we have this Street Fighter versus GI Joe little crossover. So again, the martial arts and also the Samurai Jack, that kind of Asian themes running through here with the art. Yeah, it's a nice little cover. This is just a cover A. This isn't not even an incentive variant in any way. This is not even a B cover. This is just cover A, and it's priced as such. It's like $3 to $4. It's cover price, maybe a little less. So maybe you go dollar bin digging for this. And even online, you can see copies are $4, $5, may go as high as $10, depending on condition and stuff. I mean, that's my comic shop with that most expensive $10 price, which is actually interesting. Usually they're not that expensive. But that's what I got for Kagan McLeod. Hopefully you found that little stint into his art interesting. I try to pick different types of artists to bounce around, so I'm not just doing the most popular people all the time. I try to just think of artists that interest me and artists that I like personally that may not be on the tip of or the top of everybody's top artist list. But I don't know. I thought Kagan was an interesting little topic again for this week. So let me know what you think in the comments. And sticking with this GI Joe theme, we're going to move over to variants, but we're going to piggyback onto those GI Joe books because those GI Joe Street Fighter books actually had some pretty cool variants as well. They had these 1 in 10 video game covers. I mean, here's issue 2. Like you got Snake Eyes and Ryu, if I'm saying it, with this little Hadouken. Kind of cool, classic 8-bit kind of vibe, or I guess this would be 16-bit. This is more like a 16-bit cover. Street Fighter more took off in Super Nintendo time frame, so it's more of a 16-bit than 8-bit. But these all connected as well. So issues 1, 2, 3, these are the 1 in 10s. You see Chun-Li, you got Guile. 4, 5, and 6 we got coming up next. Zangief, and you got Ken and Blanca, and you got to mix them in with the G.I. Joe characters like Shipwreck and Roadblock and Duke. Fun stuff. I don't know. I like these covers. I have a couple of them. I got to see if I can complete this set and complete this long 6-issue connecting cover set. And I see it's this whole thing. It looks like a Street Fighter, stage, basically. You would fight on the stage, moving back and forth. So I don't know. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. And these do okay. They're not super expensive. Like for being 1 in 10s, you can find them selling for, look, as cheap as like $6, $7. So that's under ratio for the most part of what's actually selling online. And then some of the asking prices could be a little bit more in that $12 range. But considering that had free shipping, that's actually not. It's really more like $5. These are $5, $6, $7 even. These are all under ratio and yeah, pretty cool. So I'm going to see if I can complete a set. I got to figure out which ones I already have. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of fun. So I thought I would bring it up here. Now, initially, I was going to actually talk about Greg Land this week as in the artist retrospective. I might do Greg next week. So that's why the next 2 variants are Greg Land variants, because they were going to tie in to the artist retrospective that I was planning on starting until I got, again, sidetracked down that rabbit hole of checking out Kagan McLeod. But the next two covers are Greg Land variants, and I like them both. I have them both. I'm fans of these covers. I don't think this is a 1 in 10. I think this is just a B cover, but some places listed as a 1 in 10. So I don't know. I think this is just a B cover, this homage cover that Greg Land did for Wolverine number 55. That's homage to that Crime Suspense Stories 22. Classic image. Everybody knows he got the head and all that stuff. Pretty cool stuff. I like it. But regardless of whether this is a 1 in 10 or just like a B variant, I'm putting it in variants here because it's something you should be able to find because there should be plenty of copies either way at your shop. What it sells for is only like $13 to 15, 13 to $15 a lot of times. Copies can sell as high as 30, but it's really more in that 15 to kind of $20 range. And the asking prices are in that same kind of bid as well. You can see 25, maybe 28. And yes, there's high asks of like 65 and whatnot. I mean, in condition, you might pay a little extra, but for the most part, you can find this for like 20 to $30 if you're looking. So, and maybe even cheaper. Look, $13. So I'd hold out for cheaper personally. Just check your shops and maybe you can find it. I found this in shops, so I'm sure you can too if you go out and just be patient. You may not find it tomorrow, but just keep your eyes open and keep looking if you're interested. Like I said, it's just a cool cover. As is the next one, which I do believe is a 1 in 10. And this cover is for Uncanny X-Men 505, another Greg Land variant. I like it. It's Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen. We don't see too many of her covers out there, especially variants. So if we ever do get her on screen in some project like that, this will probably be a book that heats up. But even right now, it's like 15 to $20. You can see that's what it kind of sells for when you find copies sold. And the asking prices are a little higher right now. I don't see the cheaper copies, but you see the cheaper copies show up because those are the ones that sell. But right now, what's on the market? It's more like 25 to 40 raw. And then there's like 9/8 out there, like 250 and thereabouts. So again, be patient. I'm not telling you to pay online prices or go buying at market. Go hunt, go look, go. Hopefully you find this for cheaper. I mean, I found this for cheaper. I found this for $1 a couple of times actually. I think I've sold like one or two at least, and I think I have a couple around here. I just gotta put them together. I mean, one will still be mine, but maybe I'll give away an extra one if I can find the extra one. But that all said, cool variants, Greg Land, and like I said, maybe I'll cover him next week. If not next week, the week after. But that was my initial plan. But we're going to move on to our next segment as we wrap this up, hopefully soon. Next segment is later prints. So, I like to talk about the second, third, fourth, fifth printings. I actually had a longer plan for this next segment where I was going to talk about all of these Old Man Logan later prints. But I'm actually going to just talk for now about the second printings because this is the first issue 66, which starts the Old Man Logan storyline, which everybody knows. Classic tale. This is the second print. I believe the third print is like a black and white. And then the fourth print for this issue starts a connecting cover set that covers like the fourth print here. And I think like a third print, and then the second prints for the next subsequent issues. And it like spells out this huge thing. I like the connecting covers. I like talking about them. So maybe we'll do those another time. For right now, we're just going to do the first couple issues that had second prints that had their own art on them that was different. So here we go. Old Man Logan, Wolverine, issue 66, starting the Old Man Logan series. The second print cover is right here. This thing could sell for like $20, $25. You can see the second print there with the third print for 67, which actually has that part of that connecting cover I was talking about. So that's 43, but that's two issues. That's two variants. So you're still in that kind of $20 to $25 range for the single issue is kind of what this is selling for. And the asking prices are a little bit steeper. So again, hold out. Don't pay these prices. Just hopefully you find it. But the askings right now are more like 45 to 75 raw. And then 9.6 is asking a healthy $200. So, if you don't like graded copies, maybe just you got a better chance of getting a cheaper copy and just grading it yourself. But who knows? Take a shot. But that's issue 66. And then we're going to move on to issue 67. This is the second print. Pretty cool. I kind of like this close up on Mjolnir. You got the hammer right there in front of everybody, kind of bowing before it. So this is the second print for 67. None have sold of this book recently, so can't tell you what the current market is as far as that goes. But the asking prices aren't that bad. 15, $18. And then there's a high ask of like $30. So, 15 to 30 is not terrible for a tougher to find later print of a popular run. And this is one of the most popular Wolverine stories. So I would expect the prices to kind of maintain. I don't expect these to drop significantly because of that. Because people like collecting the oddball things. People like collecting the tough to find things, the harder to find things, the lower printed things, especially when they're covering like a popular subject or a first appearance, things like that. So this being a popular storyline that will probably never be unpopular, I expect this to kind of just linger. But that said, we're going to go on to issue 68 with the last one I think we're going to cover here with the second prints that don't do the connecting. So this second print, pretty cool, Wolverine driving right at you. Also, isn't that bad. This one I don't believe is that bad as far as sales. $7.50, best offer on $10. So this one's not that expensive at all. Asking prices again, that kind of same range, $7 to $15, $17. So definitely not too pricey for this one if you can find it. But go hit your shops. Maybe you can get lucky and find these things in a box somewhere. And with that, I think I got one more segment for you, and we're just going to quickly look at a nostalgia pick. This is a recommendation. I think it was Hi Nathan. Was Hi Nathan the one who recommended this? I can't remember if it was. And if it wasn't, I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I believe that's who recommended this. And I want to talk a little bit about Visions. No, not Visions, but this issue of Visions from 1979 is the first appearance of the character we're about to talk about, which is the Flaming Carrot. I don't know if many of you remember the Flaming Carrot from way back in the day. It was kind of ran through like the 90s. It was like one of those indie things that you just would see at the shops along with like the Cerebus and things like that. And you go, what the hell is that? And it was just kind of an oddball thing that maybe you never actually bought, but you always saw. At least that's how I treated it. I wasn't a real big collector of this type of stuff back then as a kid. I remember seeing it, and it does, tweak that nostalgia in my brain. And you newer, collectors, newer kids out there are probably like, what the hell are you talking about? Flaming Carrot? The hell is this? But Visions, 1979. Now, this is not a book you're going to find. This thing's like impossible to find. I think there's one up right now asking like $3,000. So if you do find this, this is very expensive. So that's not what I'm looking to talk about here. But just the regular first appearance in 1984, Flaming Carrot Comics from Aardvark Vanaheim, which is the same publisher that did Cerebus. This issue 1, if you can find it, does very well. Does very well considering it's a story about a flaming carrot guy. $50, $43, $63 with bids. Like those all have bids. These are at auction. Those aren't just buy it nows that people eventually bought. Those are at auctions that had multiple people interested in them. Then the asking prices are more in that like $100 range when you see the raws, like $100, $112, and then there's 160 that has a decent lot of Flaming Carrot comics, because there's not a lot of other issues apart from issue 1 of the Flaming Carrot series that really command much of a premium, except I would say this issue and then the next book that I want to talk about, which is this issue 16, which is the first appearance of the Mystery Men. You guys remember that movie from, what was it, 99? The Ben Stiller movie? And you had all the crazy offbeat, off the wall superhero characters. Mystery Men first appeared here in Flaming Carrot Comics as I guess sort of a, not quite as good as the Watchmen, a little takeoff on the superhero genre a little bit. So issue 16, Flaming Carrot Comics, not from the 1984 run. I think this probably was in like 1987 when this actually dropped. $16, one sold for $18, which is not too bad. And you see 16 and 17, a lot of those two sold for $100 back at the end of July. Asking prices, however, on this a little bit more than those $16 sales. They're asking more like $35 to $50. So maybe you can find it for cheaper than that. Just go dig in a box, go dig in a store. Apart from issue 1, look for issue 16. That's probably your best bet on finding a decent Flaming Carrot comic. So keep an eye out for that one. First appearance of Mystery Men. One more Flaming Carrot, just kind of for fun, because years later, I mean, 1984 is when it came out at Aardvark, but an Image got a hold of it in 2004. So we do have Flaming Carrot Comics #1 again here in 2004 from Image. These you can probably find. You can probably find these in the dollar bin if you go in there and go digging. And it might be worth it. I mean, it's not worth a ton, but if you find it for $1, you can do worse. Copies. Well, lots are selling for like 1 to 2 issues selling for like $13 to $15. So again, not a lot of money, but maybe you can find it for for fun. There's individuals asking $11 plus $10 shipping, $15 plus $5 shipping. So it is what it is. It's just one of those books. If you can find it for cheap enough, it might be worth your time to grab it, even though it's not the first appearance of the Flaming Carrot. It's just a new #1 with the character and Image. But hopefully you enjoyed that little oddball selection of books. I know it didn't have a lot of really a through line of a theme, but hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you're still enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. I appreciate the support. Like I said, we're getting so close, on our way to 2K, and we'll be doing a big giveaway as soon as we get there. So help me out and tell some more of your friends out there so they can get them to sub up to the channel. And like I said, let me know what you think of this stuff in the comments. Let me know some oddball things you might want to see, because I might cover it like Flaming Carrot here. Because if I find it interesting, I'll research it, I'll look into it, and I'll share it with all of you. And we'll all just have fun talking about comics and collecting and all that great stuff, because I'm still having a hell of a lot of fun doing this. Hopefully you're still having fun going along this ride with me. And with that, I will see you guys soon with some more content, as I got to go hop on over to Star Wars before they get mad at me. All right. See you guys later.